What's a life hack that sounds crappy but actually works really well? A knitted fake wasp nest. Our wasps buggered off the same day. Haven't been seen since. Writing things down by hand helps you remember them better. When my teachers let us make cheat sheets for tests, I ended up knowing the material well enough that I only needed to reference the cheat sheet once in a while. Choose your reaction before your emotions can. I was always jealous of people who naturally had a great response to problems, like I forgot something at home. Oh well. It happens to everyone. I'm sure they'll understand why I'm late. I began really noticing how much easier that must make life. So I started trying to imagine the right reaction to situations. If you make yourself pause to think of a good reaction, you can kind of choose it like that would be a good one, and then you don't give your stupid brain an opportunity to throw out a shitty reaction. Take 2 to 10 minutes to tidy up your home before you go to bed. The next morning, you'll feel way better not having to look at all the junk things you still have to do. I started doing that this year and it really makes a difference. I don't like waking up to dirty dishes in the sink, so doing them up before bed and having a nice clean kitchen really helps my overall mood. If you always put your keys in the same place, you won't lose them. I have 3 hooks by my door. Car keys, dog walk keys, front door and mailbox, and dog leash. One of those will be in my hands each time I enter the house, so I just hang them up and never have to look for them when I'm trying to leave. Thinking of reaching out to an ex? Masturbate first, then think about it. Don't save your banking information on online stores. Makes impulse buying much more difficult if you have to track down your wallet. I use a 2024-hour rule. I wait 24 hours before buying something online. If even after 24 hours, I still feel the need, I get it. Most of the times it's just impulse buying that goes away the next day. Don't ask someone, do you need anything? When they are going through something. Ask them, what can I do for you? And stop talking. Sometimes listening is enough. Being a good listener isn't easy. You have to stop waiting for your turn to speak and just be there for them. Source: father of daughters. Bending your knees up using a little stool to support your feet while pooping. It has changed my life. I call it the power of might as well. Gonna get up from my desk and go to the kitchen? Oh well. Might as well take this plate with me. Going to pee before bed? Oh well. Might as well brush my teeth. Going to brush my teeth? Oh well. Might as well floss. Going outside? Oh well. Might as well bring the trash. It's ridiculous, but it works. When someone you like or respect does something confusingly infuriating, imagine the most favorable to them possible explanation and pretend that's true. Wait until you know more before getting reflexively angry. Edit. Thanks for the awards. I assume the best of you. I do a version of this as a teacher when a student messes up. I go in saying I'm worried about them rather than I'm disapproving of them. I learn much more about students' home lives and build better relationships. Exercising first thing in the morning really does make you feel better all day. It is garbage to start. Take a month or 2 to get used to. Then you miss a day and feel like shit. I actually really hate that this is the truth. I started exercising in the morning with the express purpose to disprove that 1, doing your hardest least favorite task first thing gets it done, and 2, that it improves your mood and energy for the day. Been getting up at 4:55 am every morning for so many years to exercise before work that I cannot live without it. Like I will wake at 3 am to exercise if I have something that will have me leaving the house for 5 am. I live in buttfuck nowhere. Most medical appointments are hours away and I have 2 chronic illnesses. Being genuinely nice and appreciative with people. They'll 100% help you out in any way they can. The security guards at my office building bring my food up to me whenever I order lunch, and when our office was closed I asked them to bring our mail up and leave it in a locked office they had a key to. My co-worker was bitching, even though it benefited him too, that they only did that because I'm a girl. BTCH, I make them cookies all the time and ask about their families. People do nice things for nice people. Ignoring toxic family members or work calls can improve your mental health when properly spread out. Sometimes it's okay to set your phone aside and unplug. Not necessarily crappy per se, but I always encourage people to befriend the hospital employees that bring you your meal trays. They'll hook you up with the good stuff so you're not stuck eating crappy food. My sibling had brain surgery a couple years back and the most sweet and attentive person she encountered was from housekeeping. I try to be as nice as that lady. Does putting multiple chip bags on the same bag clip count? Cut the clips off of the hangers for pants shorts and use them in the kitchen. You can usually snap them off. But a clean cutting saw will keep you from getting poked. If you keep forgetting if you locked your door car lock, do something silly after locking it. It will help you remember if you have to think back. I would always say it's day of the week and I locked the door. The act of figuring out what frickin' day it is helped me remember. Fake it till you make it. Everyone has to learn and it's okay to learn on the way. Edit. Unless you're a doctor. Please don't do this if you're a surgeon or doctor. Edit. I may be wrong on my last edit per a comment below. Good to know, although a little scary knowing. Edit. Maybe don't try and fake a music festival into existence without a location and proper planning. I started saying silly instead of stupid, like for example, oh I'm so stupid or that was stupid. I've noticed that it helped improve my self-esteem. I do this with my 3-year-old. I tell her all the time that something is silly instead of weird or stupid. It helps build her up and helps me not feel as negative. Taking a break when you get frustrated with a task. Seriously. This. I will spend an hour looking for why I'm off balance at work and will give up. Go back to it an hour later and find it right away. Using leftover bags from grocery stores or whatnot for trash bags. IDKY. But whenever I tell people this, I get a funny look. It works well. The Target curbside bags fit perfectly in my bathroom trash cans. I can't stand that trash bags are the one thing you buy with the sole purpose of just throwing them away. Seems like such a waste of money and plastic. Taking 2 steps at a time when walking up the stairs. You take half the time to get to the next floor. And you get a good glute workout at the same time. That moment when your friend is taking 2 steps to walk upstairs and you feel peer pressured to as well and try to hold back being out of breath once you get to the next floor. When you're done eating pickles and still have pickles brine left in the jar. Don't spill it out. Cut up a red onion into rings and throw them into the jar. Refrigerate and couple of days later you have pickled onion rings. Works best with bread and butter type brinemo. But you do you. Pickle juice is a pretty good cooking ingredient too. As well as pickled jalapeno juice. I use it all the time in spots where you need vinegar. Good binding agent. Befriend the invisible people that everyone overlooks. The hotel maids. The janitor at your office. Anyone doing a thankless job that people often look down upon. Treat them like valuable human beings because they are. These are people working far harder than most of us can imagine. Taking care of themselves and their families and often barely scraping by. You never know in this life when you're going to be the one interaction that saved someone's life. Or at least made it a little bit better for a day or a moment. And you never know when some person who nobody paid attention to could end up being there for you. Especially if they know and like you. Just tell the truth. Place a small bowl of 2/3 water, 1/3 white vinegar, or lemon juice, in your microwave and cook on high for 10 minutes. Any stuck on dried food residue will wipe right off with no effort. Learning to do things the hard way first makes it easier on the long run. Since you can't always use the easy way, but the hard way always works. The best way to master the long sword is to practice with one in each hand. It is hard at first. But all things are hard at first. Miyamoto Musashi. Before pouring coffee I heat water in the microwave until it's boiling in my ceramic coffee mug, making the mug nice and hot. Then Dump out the boiling water and pour in the coffee. That way, the mug keeps the coffee warm for a much longer time. Get a bidet attachment and never buy toilet paper again. Just before you throw your towel in the laundry after a shower, use it to wipe down all the surfaces in the bathroom, sink, taps, floor, and finally the toilet. It goes in the laundry anyway and helps give the bathroom a quick clean, reducing the need for a deep clean as often. Flushing a bit of dish soap down the toilet unclogs it 80% of the time. Opting out instead of going along with social traditions and expectations. It will liberate you in ways you may not be able to imagine at first. I celebrate only what and with whom I want to celebrate. I no longer do holidays, weddings, showers, or those horrid office birthday lunches. I basically don't do any mandatory fun. As a result, I don't suffer through experiences I'd rather not be having while pretending to enjoy myself. And I can focus my attention on caring for people in ways that feel much more authentic to me. There's definitely been a social cost to this in terms of people thinking I'm weird, or pressuring me, or assuming I'm going to participate in things just because I'm supposed to. Getting past worrying what others think wasn't easy. Nor was overcoming the inertia of doing what I'd been taught to do my entire life. It's been worth it for the sake of being truer to myself and living more on my own terms. Don't turn your back on bears. Men you have wronged. Or the dominant turkey during mating season. Putting makeup and pretending that I'm pretty LMAO. When cooking, get an old margarine container, cleaned, and use it to put all the scraps and waste from making dinner. Just set it next to or on the cutting board. So much easier to manage your cooking and cutting. Stop setting needless rules for yourself. You can shower in the dark. Eat the parts of a sandwich separately in fistfuls from the bag. Run the dishwasher twice. There is no proper way to do the mundane things in life so long as they are done to a standard you're okay with. It sounds like bullshit, but as an adult slowly realizing they have ADHD and fighting chronic illness and long-term MH issues, this shit was life-changing. I can just find a way to get the job done. It doesn't need to be perfect from step A to Z. If I end up only ever putting laundry on at 2 AM and putting the machine on a timer so it starts at 7, that's fine because it still gets done. Don't ask people, "Are you sure?" People struggle with doubt in their lives enough. Go with what they say and give them confidence about their decision. I mean, sometimes. On the other hand, sometimes the person is making a really dumb decision, which will have negative consequences. Sometimes it's something very important, or a one-time opportunity, and you want to make sure they understand the gravity or seriousness of the decision. If you often forget something when you leave home, when you get a minute, close your eyes. Imagine yourself leaving your house and say to yourself, "Have I forgotten anything?" Then imagine something really random like a talking tree or dragon screaming the item like Fasamara-esque in a ridiculous way. Do this a few times and the next time you leave your house you'll remember the thing screaming what you've forgotten. If you're struggling at work or at school, tell your boss or teacher. Instead of trying to hide it. They want you to succeed, too, and might offer suggestions or reduce your workload a little. Plus, it'll help reduce the anxiety you feel about them finding out you're struggling. If you've got a paper due at 9 AM the next day, and it's midnight and you still have about 3 hours of work to do, go to sleep and set your alarm for 5:00 AM to finish it the next day. Sleeping on it will make the writing come easier in the morning because your subconscious will be working on it as you sleep. Knowing you literally have no more time to procrastinate will make you work faster. And with a little sleep under your belt, you'll be thinking a little more clearly and will be less likely to make thoughtless mistakes. Fake it till you make it. Double quote. We know that the actions we take are influenced by our feelings. But our feelings are also influenced by our actions. Doing something, even if we don't want to, will often cause us to rationalize why we did it, and fool ourselves in thinking that we really did feel like doing it in the first place, increasing the likelihood of us wanting to do it in the future. If you have a cough, drink a bottle of laxative. Won't help your throat much, but you'll be too afraid to cough. Problem solved. When you want to pop a zit, pull your fingers apart rather than pushing them together. This stretches the pore open and doesn't drive the zit deeper, where it would just cause more problems. Source: my doctor NHS. One of my favorite is to bring a couple of new disposable diapers to the beach, lake, river, etc. If you decide to leave your towel to hit the water, you can wrap your cell phone, car keys, wallet up in diaper. Then fasten it up and I promise you no one will mess with your stuff. You're welcome. P. Exercising for mental health. Exercise brings greater stamina, which makes you feel physically and mentally able to take on more. Aside from that, it gives you something else to focus on. If you're constipated and have a vagina, stick your thumb up your vag and gently rub downwards on the back wall of the vaginal canal. Can help to guide your HT out of your rectum. You don't want to be forcing it, just helping it along. Been a lifesaver. Truly. Using mayonnaise instead of butter to make a grilled cheese. You don't have to wait for soft butter and the egg and the mayo seems to make a crunchier texture. I have this saying: if you believe it, then it's true. Double quote. This applies to psychological senses, like religion or myths. I have nightmares very often. They're more likely to happen if I go to sleep in fear of having one. So I just try my best to convince myself that I am going to dream about something in particular. Like the other night I watched Pirates of the Caribbean for the first time and I went to sleep telling myself to dream about being a pirate. It was lots of fun. 10/10 would recommend to dream about being a pirate. Lol. No self-developing habit is good unless you can do it sustainably. Discipline of frequency trumps sporadic brilliance in most cases. If you have ingested too much cannabis and feel paranoia, here is the cure. Go to your kitchen and grab your tin of black pepper. Shake it up. Pop it open and breathe in the pepper dust once or twice. Not the whole ground pepper, just the dusty portion. In less than a minute you will be having fun again. You're welcome. Get back to enjoying weed again. When giving someone options for a situation, nod your head slightly when saying the one you want them to pick and shake your head slightly when saying the ones you don't want. If you get water in your ear during a shower, bath, swimming, etc., get on your knees in front of the bed in prayer blowjob position. Turn your head so the affected ear is closest to or facing the bed. Then slam the side of your head against the bed. Should knock the water out but may take an additional slam or two. Lift your knees and legs up like you're using a little stool while pooping. It has changed my life. And you get a good ab workout at the same time. Freezing sauces allows the dense portion to settle and the really liquid part to rise. Once it's completely frozen, just decant the sauce and rinse away the clear ice at the top. This will save hours of cooking off the sauce to thicken it. Also, instead of parboiling raw foods to stuff, cabbage, peppers, etc., just freeze and thaw them to make them pliable. Dryer sheets clean dead bugs off your car without leaving scratches. Windows too. I tried your advice and used a window to clean dead bugs off my car. Now my car is scratched to hell. And my house needs a new window. Thanks a lot. Cupcakes as bread while eating spicy soups. Might not work with all spicy soups but with the ones I make, basically chicken soup with a lot of noodles and some Thai peppers, it tastes divine. IDK. Somehow the spiciness of the soup really brings out the sweetness of the cupcake and vice versa. They somehow just amplify each other's taste. Disclaimer. I eat some weird tea so it might just be me who thinks it tastes good. But oh god does it taste good. YMMV. But when you're giving presentations or interviews, literally pretend you're Steve Jobs. Watch his videos on YouTube. The dude had a questionable personality. But nobody's questioning that he's a damn good public speaker. I have social anxiety. And literally just pretending that I'm like a presentation god makes a huge difference. You can remove pet hair from upholstery by just misting it with water. Then swiping it with your hand. The hair starts to pull up. Works surprisingly well and it's free. Had a pigeon problem on my balcony. I live in front of a church. So a lot of them gather there. At night and early on the morning. They would come to my balcony. Leaving shit and feathers all around and biting my plants. One day I saw a plastic raven at a store. That supposedly scares them away. It was expensive and I didn't have much money. So I grabbed a bunch of black plastic bags and some wire. Made a fake raven and attached it to the railing. It's been like 7 months and I haven't seen a single pigeon on the balcony since. After a heavy night of drinking. Guzzle as much water as you can until you feel like you're going to burst, and that'll seriously reduce your likelihood of a hangover. Not greasy food the next morning or loads of sleep. Just water. This is gonna sound kinda sad. But just work. I've had some great jobs. Some shitty jobs. And periods of no job. I would always prefer having something to put my mind to. Even if it's mundane. Than leave it unchecked. I've found my mind can go to some weird places. Mirror checks. I had a severe drinking problem and I used to lecture myself drunkenly in the mirror in the bathroom. I finally listened to that guy and got cleaned up and sober. I still see him. In there. I ask him how he's doing and if he's okay. He usually tells me the truth. 2. When I've heard what he has to say, I take it and try to adjust my day accordingly. Sometimes, when you don't have other people around to check on you or monitor your well-being, you have to depend on yourself. This is a good way to become in touch with your inner dialogue. 2. Also, speaking of that inner dialogue, we are all in one long-winded argument with ourselves. Usually, I just try to remember that. Since I know my own tactics, I can easily and readily outmaneuver myself and win these arguments. Helps me when the desire to sleep in or procrastinate is nearly overwhelming. It's okay to fight dirty with yourself. 2. When I've heard what he has to say, I take it and try to adjust my day accordingly. Sometimes, when you don't have other people around to check on you or monitor your well-being, you have to depend on yourself. This is a good way to become in touch with your inner dialogue. EMDR sounds like utter bullshit, but it worked for me. Like magic. I mean, not the quickest magic, but way quicker than talk therapy. By orders of magnitude. Putting something in an odd place so you will remember to do a particular task. I'm a cobbler. They, that delve in such things, make these fancy expensive boot trees for tall, knee-high, women's hoods to keep them standing up and prevent the stack, shin part, from creasing. A pool noodle cut to length works as well. Every time my girlfriend's toilet is clogged, instead of using a plunger she puts plastic wrap over the entire toilet and flushes. It actually unclogs it. So that's crappy, I guess. If you want something to memorize instead of reading it many times at one sitting, read it multiple times at an interval and do something else between. This will help memorize faster. This is mainly helpful for big essays and articles, which is more of by hearting the stuff rather than concepts. Also, writing it down after a few reads. If needed, write it down, seeing the book and then read what you wrote will also expedite. Breathing practice is a lot more powerful than I ever thought. I thought it was stupid until I took it seriously. I taught myself to not snore. Crazy idea, but actually worked. Forgiving myself for not being perfect. Getting sleep and drinking water with the occasional vegetable with my regular dinner. Worked wonders for my physical condition. Try to treat everyone like you are the only person that knows they're gonna die tomorrow. When you go to the doctor, you are the manager of your illness injury. The doctor is a consultant whose advice you can agree or disagree with. Doctors are not all-knowing. Knowing that can save a whole lot of anguish. Working hard and doing things the right way the first time really does pay off in the long run. Tell someone you live with what you're looking for. My partner and I do this all the time. If I lose something and spent an hour trying to find it, he'll walk in and have it in 5 minutes. If he loses something, he doesn't bother doing more than a focused look and will then ask me, who'll either know where it is or spot as soon as I walk into the room. Wait, I need to ask him to find the advent stockings my mum knitted for us, lol. Deleting social media of your phone does wonders for your mood and overall mental well-being. If you wake up feeling super tired and shitty, just stand up and get a glass of water and or take a piss. I know it's the hardest part about waking up, but the sooner you just get out of bed the sooner you start feeling normal. And X200B. Now I just gotta figure out how to make normal feel less like shit. Double quote. Cut out the bottom of your boxer shorts so you have a boxer skirt. You will be amazed by your new level of freedom. If you have athlete's foot often because of sports and stuff, there is a simple but strange solution. When you take a shower every night, pee on your toes. The ammonia and other stuff in your urine kills it and prevents it from happening. Then wash your feet with soap, of course, and tell no one. Way back in high school my friend's doctor told him to do it and I tried it. It worked when all the creams and sprays and powders failed me. The $20 Vegas room upgrade. When you go to check in, put a $20 bill with your ID and ask, do you have any complimentary upgrades available? Double quote. With all the rewards they have now, this may not work for you. But even at a hotel that the lady told me we have our rewards program that will do that, was followed with her upgrading the room to a much nicer one. Have a cough that makes it hard to sleep? Cover the bottom of your feet in Vicks, be generous, and then put on thick socks. I have no idea why, but it stops the coughing. It feels weird too. To peel garlic cloves. Put them in a jar with a lid. Shake it vigorously for 5-10 seconds and all your cloves are peeled. I tried this. My sister tried this. And it didn't work. I've tried this with water too. Nope. I've tried it with air in the container. Nope. I've tried them warm, cold, etc. Tell me the secrets to your ways.